So the first one is about homing in on the right problem. So solve the right problem and solve it the right way. So a lot of people start with a solution in mind and they don't really
Right.
get down to what's the physical problem. So that's the first one is don't give me a solution, give me the problem and
Right.
use a structured way of solving it. The second one is has to do with how we set up management systems, and it's called structure for discovery. So a lot of times the structure is for following the plan. So we have a plan and I'm going to measure if you're accomplished the right milestones or if you've got the right spending. But the structure for discovery is more like when we do the plan, when we do the work, we're also going to ask the question, is it the right plan? And that requires four elements. The first one is we need a clear target with a clear intent behind the target. So I don't just tell me to go faster. Why faster? What are we trying to accomplish here? So I understand what you're trying to get to instead of just that number. So I don't cut corners. Two is we need supporting metrics. So if you want me to go faster, oh, you also want me to preserve quality and cost? Oh, that's going to be a tougher problem. But it's to create a box with three walls. So you have to go that way to solve. You actually have to improve the work. You can't cut corners. The third thing you need for structure for discovery is I want to see the activity sets. It's not, Mark, what don't you understand about getting a 15% cut in cost? I don't care how you do it. I care how you, because every time we do the activity, we want to run it as an experiment. We did the activity that we assume will work. Did it help or not? Did it work or not? What did we learn? And then so we create learning all the way through. And then what are the issues we come across? And let's solve them as we go. So now we got everyone looking at a plan. And every time we do a step, it's an experiment with the assumption that we might not know everything about this. And what we learn at every step rather than measuring, did you just do the plan? Did you
Right.
get the results? No, we treat it as an experiment.
Yeah.
So we set that. The third one is connect the human chain. And one of the things about dynamic work design is we recognize that in our view, the only work that ever gets done is by people. No machines, no software, no suppliers. Work moves to an organization, person to person, especially intellectual work. I get an input, I do work, I have an output, it goes to another person. So those are the nodes. And we see two ways we see work moves along the work chain. Horizontally is how we draw it. And then work moves through the management chain up and down to provide resources, direction, guidance, all that kind of stuff. So connect the human chain both horizontally and vertically. Fourth one is lean people will know this is pull, which is regulate the flow, which is don't put work in the system that's not able to process right away because it just piles up. So we regulate for flow because that's the other big idea of dynamic work design. Work should always be moving, even intellectual work. So if you've got 500 messages in your inbox, Mark, maybe that's a problem. Yes.
I mean, I've got time scheduled to do my batch email work tomorrow. Yeah.
So intellectual work is hard to see, and that's part of the big problems. We can see physical work, or we can see when the assembly line stops, but can you see when a project hits an issue or when decisions get stuck? We can't really do it. So the fifth principle is visualize the work, and we do that with all kinds of tools, post-it notes, their computer visualizations. But once we can actually see the work, then all this kind of tricks that we use in physical work come into play. And by visualize the work, I don't mean the status, like, oh, we're 50% done. No, I want to say, where is the invoice? Where is the project? Like a digital twin, like a air traffic controller sees where the planes are on a radar scope. Just think about this. If I gave you a printout spreadsheet every minute about the position of every plane, latitude, longitude, altitude, and speed, and then you had to read that for 37 planes and decide what to do, you couldn't do it. But
Right.
that's what people are doing with spreadsheets. No, we want a digital twin on the wall or on the computer that shows actually the work moving, the status of it, issues of it, not the numerical 50% done. Let's see, where is the work, what stage? So that's the fifth one is to visualize the movement.